everybody. So today I'm here with Rachel, and she is an EMT, and she's going to explain to us a little bit about her time in service as an EMT. So Rachel, can you start by explaining what your job is and just like what your general description is?
Yeah, sure. So I'm an EMT. I'm a volunteer. So I volunteer with two agencies. The first one's in my hometown in Jersey, and the second is with where I go to school at Cornell. So as an EMT, the name kind of lends it to itself, but I'm trained to provide emergency medical care for a wide range of injuries and illnesses, both medical and traumatic in nature. So depending on the nature of the call, I could be doing a wide variety of clinical skills. These skills happen both on scene and in the ambulance, in the back of the ambulance. So some examples could be, performing CPR, doing spinal immobilization. I'm trained to administer medications like Narcan and epinephrine, nitroglycerin, splinting, controlling bleeding. Maybe that's a tourniquet, maybe that's a dressing. And also providing emotional support for our patients. I think that sums it up.
That sounds like a wide range of responsibilities. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you want to be an EMT?
Sure. So kind of a personal experience for me. I was always interested in the service, but the impetus was a situation. Me and my two friends, the three of us, were at a water park. We've been exercising a lot that day, and it was really hot. And we're online for one of the rides. One of my friends complains of being thirsty, and we're like, you know what, we're gonna grab water right after this ride. She falls to the ground and starts to seize. And I just remember, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It made me nauseous. It was this horrible pit in my stomach of, I don't know what to do. We started yelling for help. The lifeguards came over. She ended up being fine. She ended up having a heat stroke. She was totally fine, which was great. But it was that feeling of not knowing what to do and not knowing how to take initiative. Like, it wasn't so much that I needed to know the clinical skills, like, get her on her side, make sure her airway is clear. It was more of I don't have the confidence to control this scene, to maybe gather help, to maybe, calm my friends down, to calm myself down. I didn't have those skills and confidence. So that would have been the impetus, I would say, for my service.
So it sounds like you have a real personal connection to your role.
I do, yes.
That's cool.
Yep,
So
ever since.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share what one of your favorite parts of being an EMT is?
Yeah, so I'm sure this is the case with most types of service, but for me, it's seeing the impact we have on our community. In our minds, we're providing such a small service. Like, we've seen tons of patients, tons of calls. Maybe a simple call only takes 45 minutes start to end. So we don't think it's that much to us, but to our patients, it can mean the world. So in my hometown, we treat a lot of older gentlemen and older women who are either chronically ill or have a bad fall, and they're very grateful in the hospital. Before you're about to leave, they'll grab your hand and shake onto it and they'll look into your eyes and say thank you. And right there, it means everything. It can make my day. So it's seeing the impact we have on the community.
That sounds super special. I love that. So can you share a little bit of what it's like being a woman in service, if there's any big struggles that come with it, anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So I can say that I haven't faced significant challenge being a female EMT. I can say that, EMS, in addition to first response as a whole, it's largely male dominated across the country, whether that be paid, volunteer, rural or urban, it's largely male dominated. So with that, it's sort of a unique situation. There have been times where I'm on a call, so my crew is already on scene and the police officer will show up, and there have been instances, although not common, the police officer will automatically assume the male is the crew chief on the crew and will walk right up to the male and then start asking questions. So I would say the best thing we can do as female first responders would, rather than get publicly upset in this situation, we could communicate politely and openly and vocalize our concern.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great way to handle it. It's really great advice to share. Yeah. So I guess as a great transition, do you have any advice for young girls who either may see some women in service or be hesitant about getting involved? Just any advice you could pass along to them?
Yeah. So I'm involved in two traditionally male-dominated fields, EMS and also with the military with my training in Army ROTC. Um, I would say to younger girls, don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. While that hasn't happened to me like that specific, I've received negative facial expressions when I say, "Oh yeah, I'm in ROTC," or "Oh yeah, I'm an EMT." Um, I've received negative facial expressions and or negative comments just that are a little bit off-putting. I would say don't listen to them. Don't let that get to you because you have every right to pursue that field, and also you have just as much of a chance to pursue that field as everyone else.
That's amazing advice. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your experiences. This has been an incredible interview. So thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Yep.